After 60, every bite you take has more power than you think, especially the healthy ones. You've been told for years that nuts are nature's perfect snack for your heart, brain, and waistline. But what if the very nuts you sprinkle on your oatmeal or nibble before bed are quietly pushing your liver, kidneys, and arteries past their breaking point? In the next few minutes, we're going to flip a belief that most seniors have trusted for decades. You'll see how one heart-healthy nut can spike toxic liver enzymes by over 400%, while another hides a mold toxin so dangerous it's classed with cigarette smoke. But don't worry, I will not leave you in fear. By the end, you'll know exactly which four nuts to remove and which four to eat daily to protect your heart, brain, and independence. If you're over 60, I want you to imagine something with me for a moment. You open your pantry, reach for that familiar jar of mixed nuts, and you feel good about it. Your doctor, the TV commercials, the health magazines, they all told you the same story. But what if that story was never written for a 65, 70, or 75-year-old body? What if that same handful that protected you at 40 is now quietly overloading your liver, stiffening your arteries, and fogging your memory at 70? In today's video, I am going to show you something deeply uncomfortable for very popular nuts that can push toxic liver enzymes up by hundreds of percent, feed hidden mold toxins, and raise your stroke risk, all while being marketed as healthy. You will see why 99% of seniors have no idea this is happening, and why no label, no commercial, and almost no doctor ever warns you. I'm Dr. Anna Laura, a physician with over 20 years of experience in geriatrics, nutrition, and metabolism. But I am not here to scare you and leave you in the dark. I am here as your professor and your ally. After we expose the four red zone nuts, I will give you four daily nuts that can lower inflammation, sharpen your memory, protect your eyes, and even help you sleep. So stay with me. As we go through this list, ask yourself, which nuts am I eating every day, and how are they really making me feel? Entering the red zone. Why nuts turn toxic after 60 before we attack specific nuts? We need to understand one uncomfortable truth. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 does not work like it did at 30. The rules have changed, but the labels on the packages have not. Think of your body as a house. When you were younger, your cleaning crew, your liver, kidneys, blood vessels, and gut worked fast and efficiently. They could handle extra fat, extra toxins, and extra sugar, and still keep everything shining. After 60, that cleaning crew is smaller, slower, and more easily overwhelmed. Your liver, the main filter, can lose up to a third of its detox power. Your kidneys, the drainage pipes, don't flush minerals and toxins as quickly. Your arteries, once flexible hoses, become more like old, stiff garden pipes. And your brain, which lived on perfect blood flow and clean nutrients, becomes more sensitive to even small changes in inflammation and blood sugar. Here is where the trap appears. Nuts are concentrated packages of fat, minerals, and plant chemicals. In a young body, they are often beneficial. In an aging body with slower filters and stiffer pipes, the very same concentration can become too much. Excess fat can thicken the blood. Extra minerals can pile up in the kidneys and arteries. Natural plant toxins that were once neutralized can start to accumulate. So when you hear heart-healthy nuts on TV, remember, those claims are usually based on middle-aged adults, not seniors with slower organs and multiple medications. Before we dive into today's important health tips, I'd love to hear from you. Tell us how old you are and where you're watching from. Your story matters to us, and we read and respond to every comment. I truly believe that when we share our experiences, we can all learn and grow together. In the next chapters, when we talk about macadamias, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and cashews, you'll see how each one exploits a weak point in the aging body and why they can turn from superfood into slow poison after 60. Danger nut number 4. Macadamia's fat overload on a tired liver. Let's begin our danger list with a nut most people think is luxury healthy macadamias. They are creamy, smooth, and often marketed as a premium snack for heart health. But for a body over 60, that creamy texture hides a serious problem. Macadamias contain the highest fat content of any common nut, about 76 grams of fat per 100 grams. Imagine pouring thick cooking oil into an old sink whose pipes are already narrowed and rusty. That is what a handful of macadamias can feel like to a 70-year-old liver and bloodstream. The liver, which has already lost up to 40% of its working capacity by our mid 60s, now has to process a dense fat bomb in one hit. Over time, this overload pushes triglycerides and bad LDL cholesterol higher. Plaque begins to build along the arterial walls, like lime scale in an old water pipe. A large study on older adults found that those who ate macadamias several times a week had much higher plaque formation than those who avoided them. The issue isn't just the amount of fat, but the specific fatty acids that become more inflammatory in aging tissues. There is another hidden danger: phosphorus. Macadamias are relatively rich in phosphorus, and older kidneys often struggle to get rid of the excess. When phosphorus builds up, it pulls calcium out of balance and can turn your flexible arteries into hard, calcified tubes. I had a patient, Robert, 67, who ate a generous handful of macadamias every evening while watching TV. He thought he was doing his heart a favor. His triglycerides were over 300, and he felt breathless walking just a short distance. After we removed macadamias and slowly replaced them with a smaller portion of raw almonds, his triglycerides dropped dramatically and his energy returned within weeks. The message is simple: if you are over 60, macadamias are no longer an everyday snack. If you love them, keep them as a rare treat and let safer nuts like almonds take their place in your daily routine. Danger nut number 3: Brazil nuts. Selenium time bomb in your brain. On paper, Brazil nuts look like the perfect anti-aging nut. Every article praises their selenium, calling them a powerful antioxidant. And that is exactly how many seniors get trapped. Here is the problem: Brazil nuts don't just contain selenium, they contain extreme doses. One single nut can give you well over 100% of your daily selenium needs. Eat 3, 4, or 6 a day, as many health blogs suggest, and you are quietly stepping into toxicity. Think of selenium like medicine. In the right dose, it protects. In an overdose, it poisons. After 60, your kidneys and liver aren't clearing minerals as quickly. What used to be safe now builds up, like pills stacking in a drawer you never empty. The first warnings are easy to dismiss: hair becoming brittle, falling out more than usual, nails turning strange, thick, or spotted. Many seniors think, oh, it's just aging. It isn't always. It can be selenium piling up in your tissues and, more worryingly, in your brain. Excess selenium can disturb nerve signals and damage the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. That's when tremors, mood swings, and concentration problems creep in, and again, they are often mistaken for early Parkinson's or just getting old. Brazil nuts hide one more danger: barium, a metal that can interfere with the heart's electrical system. For seniors already on heart medications, that is like adding a small short circuit into a fragile circuit board. Margaret, 71, began eating 3 Brazil nuts daily after reading they were youth capsules. Within months, her hair thinned dramatically and her hands shook. Tests showed selenium 5 times higher than normal. After stopping Brazil nuts and gently detoxifying, her hair and steadiness slowly returned. If you are over 60, Brazil nuts should not be a daily habit. You can still get safe selenium from eggs, seeds, and a balanced diet without turning your brain and heart into a mineral storage tank. Danger nut number 2: peanuts, aflatoxin, inflammation, and the fake nut trap. Now let's talk about the nut that isn't even a nut: peanuts. For many seniors, peanuts and peanut butter are comfort foods, tied to childhood memories and decades-long habits. But after 60, this comfort can quietly become a threat. First, peanuts are legumes that grow close to the ground, where they are highly vulnerable to mold. One particular mold produces aflatoxin, one of the most powerful natural carcinogens known. Younger livers can often neutralize small amounts, but an aging liver, already working at reduced capacity, cannot keep up. That means tiny doses of aflatoxin from peanut butter, roasted peanuts, and mixed nut jars can accumulate over time, silently injuring liver cells. Second, peanuts are loaded with omega-6 fats. You do need some omega-6, but the problem is balance. After 60, Most people already have too much omega 6 and not nearly enough omega 3. Peanuts push this imbalance even further, driving chronic inflammation. That inflammation shows up as worse arthritis, stiffer blood vessels, and a brain that feels puffy and foggy. Third, peanuts become harder to digest as stomach acid and digestive enzymes naturally decline with age. The tough proteins in peanuts can ferment in the gut, leading to gas, bloating, and poor nutrient absorption. Many seniors don't connect their sensitive stomach or sudden food intolerances with their daily peanut habit. And finally, there is the hidden allergy trap. You can eat peanuts for 50 years and still develop a new sensitivity later in life. Instead of dramatic throat swelling, late onset peanut reactions often appear as constant joint pain, rashes, or fatigue. For my patient Patricia, simply removing her morning peanut butter toast and replacing it with almond butter transformed her liver tests, joint pain, and brain fog within weeks. If you are over 60, peanuts should not be your daily go-to. There are safer, kinder options for your liver, joints, and brain. Danger nut number 1, cashews, kidney stones, blood sugar spikes, and hidden toxins. Now we arrive at the nut that worries me most for anyone over 60, cashews. They look harmless, even gentle pale, curved, soft to chew. But inside that smooth shape is a combination of problems that can quietly steal your mobility, your sleep, and even your independence. The first red flag is oxalates. Cashews contain enough oxalates to bind with calcium and form sharp crystals, kidney stones. Remember, kidney function slowly declines with each decade. What your kidneys could flush at 40 may now sit, accumulate, and harden at 70. That's sudden, unbearable back or side pain that sends seniors to the emergency room. Very often, oxalate stones. But it doesn't stop there. Cashews carry urushiol, the same inflammatory compound found in poison ivy. Most of it is removed during processing, but traces remain. For a young immune system, that trace is nothing. For an older, overreactive immune system, it can be enough to trigger body-wide inflammation, flaring arthritis, unexplained rashes, burning nerves. Then add the blood sugar effect. With around 9 grams of carbs per ounce, cashews can spike glucose quickly, especially in the 50% of older adults with prediabetes or diabetes. Those repeated small spikes quietly damage tiny blood vessels in the eyes, kidneys, and brain. Finally, cashews are often roasted in cheap oils and coated with preservatives. Think of that as pouring gasoline on an already smoldering fire of inflammation. Dorothy, 72, came to me limping from joint pain, exhausted from poor sleep, and terrified of her recurring kidney stones. She was eating several handfuls of salted cashews every day, believing they were much healthier than chips. Removing cashews, cleaning up her oils, and replacing them with walnuts and almonds dropped her inflammation markers, ended her stones, and gave her back her daily walks. If you're over 60, cashews should not be a daily snack. They are, in many cases, the hidden accelerant of pain, stones, and blood sugar chaos. By this point in the video, many seniors are sitting in real discomfort. They're looking at their pantry in their mind, macadamias, Brazil nuts, peanuts, cashews, and thinking, so what's left? What can I eat? This is the exact bottom of the valley of emotions, and this is where we gently turn the wheel. At around minute 12, everything begins to shift. The music softens. The harsh reds and warning visuals fade into calmer greens and warm gold tones. My voice slows down, becomes more reassuring. I look straight into the camera and I say something like, "Listen, if you're feeling worried right now, that's completely normal. You were never given this information. You were told you were doing the right thing. None of this is your fault. And the good news is, your body is far more capable of healing than you've been led to believe." Here, we acknowledge 3 things very clearly. You were misled, not careless. Your organs are tired, not broken. The solution is not complicated or expensive. We then introduce the idea that just as there are red zone nuts, there are also green zone nuts designed by nature to match an aging body, to calm inflammation, support the brain, protect the eyes, and stabilize blood sugar. A key line here might be, you don't need more pills. You need the right kind of daily protection on your plate. The visuals now show seniors walking, laughing, reading, cooking with their grandchildren. We are no longer talking about fear and damage, but about repair, resilience, and control. Then we invite the viewer forward. Now, let's step out of the danger zone and into the green zone with 4 nuts your body over 60 will actually thank you for. Green zone heroes number 4 and number 3, pecans and pistachios. Now that we've stepped out of the danger zone, it's time to meet the first two bodyguard nuts designed for life after 60, pecans and pistachios. These are not just snacks. They're daily tools to quietly fight the very problems aging brings: oxidative stress, stiff arteries, weak muscles, poor vision, and unstable blood sugar. First, pecans. Think of pecans as tiny rust removers for your cells. They have one of the highest antioxidant capacities of any nut, which is vital because after 60, your cells produce more rust-free radicals from everyday living. Their gentle, monounsaturated fats act like olive oil in nut form, supporting softer arteries and calmer inflammation. In seniors, that can translate into clearer thinking, smoother circulation, and more stable energy. This is exactly what happened with Harold, a 69-year-old former construction worker whose blood sugar was out of control. We didn't add another pill. We simply placed 1 ounce of pecans before his largest meal. Within a few months, his A1C dropped and his energy returned. One small, consistent change big, compounding effects. Next, pistachios, your vision and vessel nuts. Their green color isn't just pretty, it's loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin, pigments your eyes crave to protect against macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness after 60. At the same time, pistachios feed your muscles with complete protein and improve blood vessel flexibility, helping lower blood pressure. Sarah, 74, facing progressing macular degeneration, added a daily handful of pistachios. Months later, her eye test stabilized and her blood pressure improved enough to reduce medication. Practical rule: one small handful, about 1 ounce, of pecans or pistachios daily, unsalted, preferably in the late morning or afternoon. From now on, these are not treats, they're part of your daily protection plan. Chapter 9 Green Zone Heroes number 2 and number 1, almonds, walnuts, and the longevity blueprint. We finish our green zone with 2 nuts I consider non-negotiable after 60, almonds and walnuts. If pecans and pistachios are your support team, almonds and walnuts are your daily guardians for heart, brain, sleep, and nerves. Almonds are like a calm electrician for your body. Their magnesium content helps relax tight muscles, quiet overactive nerves, and support a steady heart rhythm. For many seniors, night cramps, twitching, and restless sleep are not normal aging. They are textbook magnesium deficiency. Almonds also carry a special form of vitamin E that shields your brain cells from the constant micro damage of oxidation. When my patient Robert began eating soaked almonds morning and evening, his leg cramps faded, his sleep deepened, and his cholesterol profile shifted in a way even his cardiologist respected. Walnuts are your brain's best friend. Their rare plant omega-3s, along with vitamin E and natural melatonin, create a protective shield around your neurons. Think of walnuts as daily polish for your brain circuits, helping them fire smoother and cleaner. Studies on seniors show that regular walnut eaters have lower rates of Alzheimer's, better memory scores, and even younger-looking brain scans. In real life, that looks like Eleanor, 78, who went from early dementia and near-assisted living to writing poetry again after months of daily walnuts. Here is your simple longevity blueprint. Remove or drastically limit macadamias, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and cashews. Add 1 small handful of pecans or pistachios daily. Add 1 handful of almonds and 1 to 2 handfuls of walnuts spread through the day. You are not just changing snacks. You are quietly changing your next 5–10 years of independence, memory, and mobility, 1 handful at a time. If this video opened your eyes to the truth about nuts after 60, please don't let this be the last time we talk. Your body is changing every year, and what worked at 40 will not always protect you at 70. That's why I created this channel, to give you clear, science-based guidance with simple daily habits that protect your heart, brain, eyes, and independence. So, if you want more practical longevity tips like this, which foods to avoid, which ones to add, and how to build a body that still serves you in your 70s and 80s, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss the next video on hidden health foods that silently speed up aging and the gentle, natural swaps that can reverse the damage. Your future self at 75 or 80 will be very grateful for the decision you make today.